Life lessons from the elderly. Why intimacy still matters. If you're in your 60s, 70s, or even 80s and no longer sexually active, I want to tell you something that might surprise you. This isn't just about pleasure. It's about your heart, your brain, and your connection to life itself. If no one else has said this to you, let me be the first. Giving up on intimacy could be quietly stealing your health, your energy, and even your sense of purpose. I'm Dr. Anthony, and after over 30 years helping men and women reclaim their well-being after 60, I've learned this. Sex isn't just a luxury. It's a vital part of aging well. You might think, it's too late for me, or that part of my life is over. But the truth is, there are 4 very real consequences, physical and emotional, that often begin when intimacy fades, and most people don't hear about them until it's too late. The good news? It's never too late to reignite that part of you. In this video, I'll show you how, starting with the most surprising risk of all. Before we dive in, if you haven't already, subscribe and tap the bell icon so you won't miss future videos designed to help you live longer, stronger, and more connected. And if this message speaks to you, drop a 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, type 0. Your feedback helps me serve you better. 1. Your brain may age faster than it should. One of the first and most overlooked effects of losing intimacy is how it affects your brain. Years ago, I saw a patient named George. He was 72, a retired math teacher. He came to me complaining about forgetfulness, trouble focusing, and feeling dull. No signs of dementia, no illness. But eventually, he opened up. After his wife passed, he hadn't been sexually active, not once in 5 years. That might seem unrelated, but science and experience tells a different story. Sexual activity stimulates the brain. It increases blood flow, especially in regions tied to memory and emotion. It releases dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins, natural chemicals that reduce stress, boost mood, and slow brain aging. Without that stimulation, the mind begins to dull. Focus slips, motivation fades, and the risk of cognitive decline, even early dementia, rises. I'm not saying sex is a cure-all, but the absence of intimacy can deprive your brain of something essential: deep emotional and neurological engagement. And it's not about youth or performance, it's about connection. Whether through touch, closeness, or emotional intimacy, keeping those parts of yourself alive keeps your mind vibrant. 2. Your body may lose circulation and hormonal balance. Next, your body begins to change, quietly but significantly. I remember a couple, Linda and Carl, both in their late 60s, married for nearly 40 years, but for the last 5, their intimacy had slowly faded. We thought that part of life was over, Linda told me. Carl nodded, but admitted he felt off. Low energy, more weight, less strength. What we uncovered was no surprise. Their physical connection had disappeared, and with it, so had many of their body's natural rhythms. Sexual activity promotes circulation. It keeps blood vessels responsive and helps oxygen reach vital organs. It's a form of exercise for the heart, the lungs, and the muscles. More importantly, it helps regulate hormones. In men, testosterone drops without stimulation, causing fatigue, weight gain, even depression. In women, a lack of intimacy lowers estrogen and oxytocin, leading to joint pain, mood swings, and higher risk of osteoporosis. And here's the danger. These changes are gradual. You don't wake up feeling different. You just move slower, sleep worse, feel older, and assume it's just aging. But often, what's really happening is disconnection. And here's the hopeful part. You don't need intercourse to benefit. Gentle touch, closeness, even emotional connection can reactivate those hormonal systems. It's not about performance, it's about presence. 3. Your relationship and your self-worth may quietly suffer. One of the most painful consequences of losing intimacy isn't physical, it's emotional. I met Margaret, 74, whose husband had survived cancer. Treatments changed their life and their intimacy. "I don't want him to feel pressured," she told me, eyes brimming. "But I miss being touched. I miss feeling like his partner, not just his caregiver." That silence between couples, it's heavy, not angry, but heartbreaking. When intimacy fades, so does the feeling of being wanted, being seen. Over time, that quiet emptiness becomes loneliness, even in a loving marriage. Guilt, resentment, shame, they creep in when couples stop reaching for each other. Even for singles or widows, this applies. When we stop believing we're worthy of touch or love, we begin to shrink, not just in desire, but in identity. This erosion of self-worth may not show up in labs, but it shows in life, through anxiety, depression, withdrawal, and health decline. But even here, healing is possible. I've seen couples reconnect after years. I've watched love return, not through perfection, but through small acts of courage, a laugh, a touch, a kind word. 4. You may be quietly shortening your life. Now, here's perhaps the most serious consequence of all. I once worked with Robert, 81, bright, healthy, and full of life. When I asked his secret, he smiled. "I still flirt with my wife. We hug every night. And yes, we still make love sometimes." It wasn't about performance. It was about the connection, the spark. Science backs this up. Studies, including one from the British Medical Journal, show that older adults with regular intimacy have significantly lower mortality rates. Regular touch, affection, and sexual expression reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and support heart health. These aren't just emotional benefits. They're physical, measurable, and potentially life-extending. When intimacy fades, cortisol rises. Sleep suffers. The immune system weakens. You become more vulnerable to illness and isolation. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can still reignite connection, even in your 70s or 80s, and literally change the way you feel and live. 5. It's never too late to start again. Eleanor was 78 when she sat in my office, smart, elegant, and quietly heartbroken. "I miss feeling like a woman," she said. "Not someone's patient, not someone's grandmother, just a woman." She thought that chapter of her life had closed, but it hadn't. No matter your age, your spirit can reawaken. Connection, real, nourishing connection, is always possible. It might start with a conversation, a gentle touch, a shared smile. Even the smallest steps, eye contact, vulnerability, saying, "I miss you," can reopen doors that seemed shut forever. And if you're single or widowed, this message is still for you. You can reconnect with others or with yourself. Therapeutic touch, companionship, emotional openness, all of these nourish the same parts of your soul. I've watched people heal after years of fear, shame, or silence. Their energy shifted. Their health improved. They came back to life. 6th conclusion, you are not done. If you've made it this far, thank you. I know this wasn't an easy topic. But one truth stands above the rest. The desire to feel alive, close, and seen. It never leaves us. It just gets buried under time and pain. We've talked about how intimacy protects your brain, supports your body, heals relationships, and even adds years to your life. These aren't small things. They're real, and they're reversible. You can begin again. I've seen widows find love in their 70s, I've seen couples reconnect after decades. I've seen people discover they are still worthy of desire and tenderness. You're not too old. You're not too far gone. Your story isn't over. And maybe, just maybe, your best chapter is still waiting to be written. If this message spoke to you, please like the video, share it with someone who needs it, and leave a comment. A simple one if it resonated, or your own story. Your voice could help someone else feel seen.